Hey everyone, and welcome to the demo for long one length. First and foremost, let's talk about this section pattern, centre parting, and then from the apex. Remember, we always talk about the apex being the top of the head, not the crown. From the apex to behind the back of the ear. I'm going to separate into 4 sections, 2 at the back and then either side. We're going to cut through a comb. The reason we're going to cut through a comb is because this gives 0 elevation. So 0 elevation is 0 graduation. You're not getting them little bits that kind of look like filtered edge. You get a nice clean edge. This is the dolls that we've been talking about that I've got off Amazon today. And it's nice and it's really thick, good quality long hair, and it's under £40. So anybody that's looking for a doll's head, I would recommend this because it really is a good doll's head. So, big mistakes when we spoke about last time. We always want to stand the back to the back when we're cutting the back, and when we're cutting the sides, we're going to stand on the sides. We're never going to stand on top of the shoulder blade, because in doing that, we're going to take a corner off. And that's another reason why I like this doll's head, because it has actually got some shoulders to it. So I think it makes it easier for that. So, feet hip width apart, and we use this comb. We use come in a down action, and then when we come to cut, we're going to pivot and cut through that section. So get your tension, come down and pivot. So centre bit first, leaving it as long as we can leave it. And you can see now how much I can kind of come through that whole section. The great thing about cutting through a comb is 1, it's a straight line, unlike as fingers, and 2, you've got a far bigger cutting action, far bigger. Bring that side back. Now I appreciate that the ones that are using tabletop clamps, it's not always as easy, but we need to be able to get that tabletop on the end so we can see this. And then it's balance. Getting down, checking this balance, making sure it's correct. Great. Next section. And you'll see that it's quite a deep section, this first section. Unlike when we're going to cut one length above the shoulder, that'll be about half that size. But because we're people with long hair, a lot of time this hair in the base here is broke off. So it's not a really good guide. So we need to have a decent sized section on that first section. Section 2. Let's unravel this. And in section 2, we're going to go to the top of the ear, not above that. Again, nice clean sections. For those that are going to do EPA, it was really noted on the girls that did it how clean the sectioning were on all their reports. You know, examiners are really looking at clean sections. Making sure that that moisture content in there is exactly the same, because if it's wetter, what will it do? It'll stretch more. And again, when that's wet and dry side by side, and you're getting different amounts of elasticity, what you'll find is it'll not be as straight a line. Small tooth comb, down, pivot, cut through that section. Again, keeping that, I'm not moving my feet at all, my feet are in exactly the same position. So really just be hip width apart, pull to centre, great. We're now going to move into a radial section, and we're going to introduce the sides. The reason we introduce the sides at this point is so that we can get confirmation from the client that this length is the right length. The quicker we can do that, it means that we're not going to waste a lot of time cutting back for a client to then say, oh, can I have a bit more off? That's really frustrating. So let's kind of get them sides in, confirm with the client that that length's okay, and then we can move on. And we're just going to have a slight decrease in angle. So we just want this angle to be slightly downward towards the front. The reason being for that is that when we put our comb in, we're going to angle it like that, and we're going to go slightly longer, because this hair is not as thick because we've got negative hair here. So that'll always blow dry up. And people tend to blow dry the hair at the front first, put all the effort in, and then be a bit lazy doing the back. Making sure that the section's the same on the opposite side. And this age is going to be one of your real core haircuts. The reason for that is in the current climate where everybody's having princess trims, everybody's got long hair, I would say the long one length is going to be the haircut that you'd probably do most. So back to the back again. Just a few little bits on mine to come off there. Exactly the same body position. Balance. And then we're going to come into this side section. What we're after is just this little piece area. We don't want to be pulling all that section round because we're going to be cutting from that angle and we're going to cut that corner off. So that belongs to the back. So it's just this little panel that's just behind the, there it goes. And again, slightly longer, really retaining as much length at the front as possible. Down. What we're not doing as well, guys, we're not pulling out that create graduation. We're pulling flat. Opposite side. And then come round to the front, get his eyes level. Let's check this balance.